Well, hey beautiful biscuits, I hope you're having a gorgeous holiday season. Welcome back to the Wholesome Feed. If you're new here, hey, I'm Rose Kelly. I am a romance and erotica author. I write under the pen name RM Kelly. Links in the description box of all my novels and novellas. I also have turned all my novels into a romance streaming TV series over for my OnlyFans page, which is so much fun if you are more of a visual than a reader. It's a great way to enjoy romance novels on the screen. Today I thought I'd come over from my glamping tent. So actually my side gig, my full-time gig, is being an author and creative director for a romance series. But I also run a little side business because I love sustainability and regenerative agriculture. I run a little Homestead Farmstead glamping business. And we just have a few bell tents that we rent out throughout the year, with access to about 5 acres of trails and woods and creeks and just fun things. And it's very near a whole bunch of other little touristy destinations, so it's a fun thing. I don't live on property, so it makes it a little more complex to take care of it, but it's a wonderful way to kind of save some land that would have been really heavily developed and deforested. So I love this little spot. But I was creating something special for my OnlyFans page here at the glamping setup, and I thought I would show you inside one of the tents because it is the holidays, and I thought I'll come film here instead of going film back at home. So this holiday season is unique because I have even more relatives around for the holidays, and I don't know about you biscuits, and I'm trying to think how to phrase this because YouTube hates like political stuff, and I don't mean this in a political way. It's just family life, right? You know, everybody's different. Our family has a very wide spectrum of political beliefs, all the way from really far right to really far left. And I'm here sitting in the middle going, oh my God, no one can talk to each other anymore. And this is the point that I see at so many social and family gatherings, is that people are so hotly contesting their politics that they can't have conversations. There's no baseline moral line that we can all agree along. It's totally different for people. And I face that in my family holiday gatherings as well. So I've been trying to come up this year with ways to have really nice family gatherings, because I tend to host most of the family gatherings, not all, but almost all of them. And I try to have it so that people aren't just coming to eat and leave. It's an experience that we hang out, we speak, we talk, we get to know each other, right? Because like that's family. I mean, obviously we know each other. We've known each other all our lives, but you know, we continue that into our adulthood, and we don't just do niceties and leave. So I really try to have an open home for my extended family for that. But as politics have been heating up more and more, oh my God, I have found that there are, and I hate to say that, because I am somebody that really thinks you should be able to talk about anything, you should be able to argue. That's the great American spirit, is to just be like totally able to argue with each other, completely able to disagree, and then realize that you're both trying to come to it from a good-hearted place. You just disagree. You aren't going to hate each other for disagreeing. My family does not do well with disagreeing. You need to agree with them, whatever side on the politics they fall. So I have found this year there are just topics I cannot talk about with some relatives. In fact, I have discovered that I can't even talk about them with other relatives who can handle disagreement. If these other relatives even overhear, they freak out and just have to like leave. And boy, do we disagree on some of these things. Like, absolute, could not be more polar opposite. So this year I've decided for some of my wokesty relatives, I just can't bring up certain topics. I can't, and I hate having to self-censor, especially in my own home. But I am trying to be considerate this year, and I'm self-censoring. So in that spirit of disliking self-censorship, because I really think we ought to be able to argue and discuss with family members and friends and just our wide social circle. I love politics. It's such a feisty thing. I've tried to come up with other things that we can discuss. And so that's kind of one of my keys to dealing with wokesters at the holidays, or alt-righters at the holidays. If you have extreme political relatives and you're trying to deal with them, don't just self-censor everything. Don't just be like, we're only going to discuss the weather. Look at that lovely cloud. It looks like a duck. Because that's boring, it's disingenuous, and you're gonna end up accidentally going into something that people fight over. So pick slightly safer topics. Don't go totally safe, not just the weather, but pick political things that maybe there's one key thing that you agree on. That even though if you really disagree, you can argue, you can circle back to this thing that you agree on and then branch out from there and have your disagreements, have your discussions. So I'm not completely self-censoring, but I'm highly recommending that we pick common ground and then branch out from there. And as easy as that is to say and sensible, right? You're like, oh, of course, go with common ground. Pick common ground and then branch out, because everybody loves to have their politics and their fights and their social causes. Like, that is just inherent to how we are as people. But start with the common ground and go from there. Don't try to just be really superficial in all your holiday conversations, because people will slip up, people will say things. It's better to circle around to common ground. And once you're kind of in that area and you're like, okay, we're talking about things, and disagreements do come up with your super political relatives, try turn it into a, what can you do? What can that relative do for what they believe in? What can you do for what you believe in? What are actionable steps? Not that you're necessarily going to go do that, right? It's like, it's the holidays, right? You aren't going to do that right now. But as a way to discuss, oh, in theory, what would you do to fix that or to change that? What are the doing, the action, movable things in life that even if you disagree on what the issues are, play around with the idea of what's actually doable in your life individually. And that can really kind of bring simmering tempers down a little bit, because it's practical. They really have to think it through, and it lets you talk about subjects. Because I'll be honest, I see even like not things I think are political at all being hotly contested between people, like angry stuff, small things that I think I'm shocked are even up for debate, you know? So that really helps, I have noticed. Oh man, yeah, you know, I don't agree with that, but what do you think you'd do to change that or to fix that? And then listen to them, genuinely listen to them, because you can listen to people that you don't agree with. You can listen to people without trying to change their mind. You can listen to them just to be part of the great American discussion of life in this country, right? Because it's a strange time to be in this country. It's an interesting time. It's a time people will write about later. Sometimes it's such a busy holiday season, you might want to come to a relaxing glamping experience where you can wander the woods, drive to the beach and collect rocks and think, thank God there's no one to speak to that disagrees with me. Because I am sure I am not the only one that comes to the holidays and thinks, oh, that's going to be so much fun. My whole family's going to be around. It's going to be wonderful. And then all your family gets together. And as soon as anything other than pumpkin pie toppings comes up, somebody gets into a fight. Somebody gets into a tizzy. Somebody gets offended. You know, some relative's going to call somebody a Nazi. Somebody's going to call them a woke propagandist. Somebody's going to call somebody a communist. It's like, things are going to happen no matter what you do. So those are both ways that can kind of help actually have fun with your politically wild relatives this time of year without totally flipping out or totally having to lie and like just put on a mask that you don't care, that you agree with people you don't agree with, because that's no fun to have to do in your own home. My third one that I really like to do is when it starts to get really heated, have backup snacks and backup games to play. So I like to do little like games in a bowl where you'll grab something and it'll be a conversation starter, it'll be a question, everybody goes around the table taking turns, and it's a great way to be like, you know what, we're just gonna re-steer this boat here because it's coming onto the rocks, it's not gonna be good. So have backup plans, because you know your relatives best. How crazy are they? I have relatives that I can disagree with, and we can really talk about things we disagree with. We can even say rude words to each other about how much we disagree with each other, but then we're gonna, you know, go eat some turkey and hang out together and look at Christmas lights, right? You know? And then I have relatives that when they feel that you disagree with them, it's the end of the conversation. They don't want to have a relationship. There's really no meter there. And so it's a tricky balance to make. These are just my suggestions. Don't get kicked out of your family. I followed what Rose said and it kicked me out of Christmas. But also go into it. If there's a lot of people that you know you're going to disagree with, It's okay to have conversations about things you disagree with. That's all right. Just have plans to route into ways that can be constructive, that can be interesting, that yes, you can disagree, but fundamentally you can come together and still have a family experience, because God knows some people just have absolutely no politics rule, but I find right now so much is politicized, so much, that it's hard to come up with things to talk about that won't offend someone if you're in a really diverse, big spectrum of political groups, because everything has just gotten so super political. So tell me in the comments. I would love to hear, do you have like a little trick, a little life hack for getting through the holidays if you have relatives that like really disagree with you politically, disagree with your lifestyle choices, just disagree with you as a person? How do you get through the holidays? Let me know. Or are you just in a family that is full of like-minded folks? No one ever argues, because I highly doubt that would be true. Hibiscus. I hope you enjoyed coming from a bell tent of glamping. If you are feeling cabin fevery, I always recommend going peeking around your local state, your local county, and seeing if there's any fun glamping places, because there's a ton and they are so much fun. I'm going to see you in the next video, and as always, I'm going to see you over on Patreon, where, what are we doing? Actually, now that I think about it, it's a couple more days, and the Advent Calendar tier that's just for the holidays on Patreon is closing. I have to go look if it's 3 or 4 days, or I'm not sure when I'm posting this video, so let me check. But if you wanted to see all that content, it is only open for another couple days, and then it's gone. It's not coming back for the rest of the year. That's it. It's specialty content. So if you're really into primal self-care, that is like the treat for yourself. Go get yourself your own little Advent calendar on my Patreon. It's really special, and I will see you in the next video out here.